नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्ति द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तद्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityanandam, everyone, and a warm and sacred welcome to all our viewers joining us today for the Kailasa's Om Award ceremony held during this auspicious celebrations of Maha Paramashivaratri. As you may know, Maha Paramashivaratri in the Hindu calendar is the Great Night of Paramashiva, a sacred annual observance when seekers stay awake through the night in meditation, chanting, and devotional rituals to honor and unite with Paramashiva's cosmic consciousness. And this night is traditionally seen as especially potent for inner transformation, purification, and moving towards liberation or moksha. Mahashivratri is celebrated this year on February 15 across the global temples and monasteries of Kailasa with deep devotion and ritual intensity guided by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And our temples hold all-night celebrations featuring multiple Janma Rudrabhishekam or the ritual bathings of the sacred Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Linga and ritual chantings of the Rudram and Chamakam and other traditional abhishekams that wash away the karmic impressions and awaken the seeker's inner consciousness. At the auspicious midnight hour, devotees participate in the Lingodbhava Maha Abhishekam, symbolizing the cosmic emergence of Paramashiva as the timeless light, emphasizing Paramashiva's universal presence beyond form. And according to revelations and guidance shared by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for this sacred night, Maha Paramashivaratri is not simply a religious festival, but it is also a cosmic opportunity for every seeker to experientially realize Paramashiva, the fundamental state of being one with the source of consciousness itself. And this Maha Paramashivaratri, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam or Swamiji, has highlighted the night as a cosmic window for higher energy integration, higher self-realization, and conscious awakening towards direct spiritual experience. And this night's significance extends to all the seekers globally. It is an invitation to transform ignorance into awareness, to transcend habitual limitations, and to connect with the foundational reality within and beyond identity. So now let us reflect on the extraordinary divine life and the global mission of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, through a visual presentation that captures his unparalleled contributions to humanity and the revival of Sanatan Hindu Dharma. what we have just witnessed offers a profound glimpse into the life and the mission of Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. His work is nothing less than a conscious civilizational revival, restoring the world's most ancient, enlightened tradition and re-establishing Kailasa, which is the only sovereign Hindu nation. And now let us turn our attention to understanding the history and the juridical foundation of Kailasa, exploring how it firmly stands anchored and acknowledged within the framework of international law as a sovereign entity.
Ago, at the end of Mahabharat War, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization consisted of 10,000 Hindu traditions, or sampradayas, that existed in 56 Hindu nations, 200 Hindu kingdoms, 1,700 Hindu provinces that covered more than 6 million kilometers square of Asia. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, SPH, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, this ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. Kailasa is an unbroken cultural, religious, historical, civilizational, and sovereign continuation and revival of multiple of these historical Hindu sovereign states and Hindu ecclesiastical entities. The unbroken continuity of these ancient Hindu nations through Kailasa results in the legal recognition of Kailasa as per the international customary law, particularly the doctrine of continuity. The international law, the doctrine of continuity, implies that upheavals and revolutions within a country, changes in government, territorial adjustments, measures taken during military occupation, or other internal transformations do not negate the existence of the country, do not affect the legal personality and international obligations of the country or state. The Vienna Convention on Succession of States in Respect of Treaties, 1978, addresses these principles of the doctrine of continuity as it outlines international law during situation of state succession or continuation. International law recognizes a state's legal personality by recognizing its identity. This perspective extends even during the period when the given state or country is annexed or occupied by a foreign power. Even in such cases, the legal personality of the state is considered to persist, enabling its subsequent re-establishment. Historical examples dating back to the 18th century include cases like Portugal and Genoa that were re-established after the Vienna Congress of 1815. More recent examples include countries such as Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, and Austria that were re-established after World War II. Even when a nation is deprived of its territory, the nation continues to exist. Its sovereignty and international legal personality continues to persist. The Dalai Lama, as the spiritual and temporal leader of Tibet, exemplifies this principle. In 1959, the Dalai Lama was exiled and forced to flee. Despite the challenges faced, the Dalai Lama continues to advocate for the preservation of Tibetan culture and garners worldwide support for Tibetan autonomy on the global stage. Similarly, from 1309 to 1376, the Pope of Catholicism had been in exile in Avignon. Despite this, he was recognized as the head of state as well as head of the church and given full privileges of the position after their return to Rome. Even in 1861, much of the papal territories had been lost, leaving the Pope with no sovereign territory other than the papal residence and related buildings. Yet his temporal powers were still acknowledged. He was recognized as a head of state, and later, the Lateran Treaty of 1929 formally re-established papal sovereignty over the Vatican City. The Sovereign Order of Malta further exemplifies this principle, retaining international recognition as a sovereign entity despite the permanent loss of their territory upon Napoleon's invasion in June 1798. Despite such permanent loss of territory, the sovereignty and the international legal personality of the Sovereign Order of Malta continued to persist. Much later in 1894, the order settled in Rome and acquired two properties, the Magistral Palace and the Magistral Villa that received extraterritorial status. Today, the order maintains diplomatic relations with 112 countries, issues its own diplomatic passports, currency, stamps, and vehicle registration plates, and has been granted observer status in the United Nations. All these examples of state re-establishment illustrate the principle of continuity of states, as per international law, that a state's legal personality persists over time. A nation continues to exist even after a complete loss of territory. A far more striking example is of the oceanic countries, which are under the threat of their entire nation being drowned and submerged due to rising sea levels owing to global warming. In response to such existential threat of climate change, Pacific Island nations, including Tuvalu, have enacted constitutional amendments and made international declarations affirming that their nation and their sovereign rights will continue to persist, despite their entire territory being lost to the sea. This proactive stance is highlighted in the Constitution of Tuvalu Act 2023 and the Pacific Islands Forum Declaration of 2021. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, through the line of succession, is the present 203rd Emperor of the Hindu Sovereign Kingdom of Surangi Samrajya. He was crowned on the 31st of December 2004 at the age of 26. Thus, by very same principles of the doctrine of continuity, through which the international legal personality of Portugal, Genoa, Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, Austria, Vatican, Tibet, Sovereign Order of Malta, and several other nations has been recognized despite having undergone a period of exile, annexation, occupation by a foreign power, or despite loss of territory. The SPH Nithyananda Paramashivam, through well-established legal and historical facts about the Hindu sovereign state of the Surangi Samrajyam, derives all sovereign rights and powers of the royal lineage of the Surangi Samrajyam as its 203rd sovereign emperor, from his inheritance and continuation of the unbroken succession of the kingdom of Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam Sarvanapitha. Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam, through unification with 20 other sovereign Hindu states and sovereign ecclesiastical, historical entities, became part of the United States of Kailasa, which thus became a sovereign, independent juridical state, with the SPH Nithyananda Paramashivam as the sovereign. Just as how the oceanic nations like Tuvalu have safeguarded their sovereignty from the existential threat of total submersion by amending their constitution and asserting that their sovereignty will persist regardless of the loss of their territory, Kailasa, which is a sovereign continuation of 21 sovereign Hindu states and sovereign ecclesiastical historical entities, is also reviving and continuing the Kumari Kandam Hindu nations that got submerged. As per the doctrine of continuity, these facts imply that the Kailasa's statehood is recognized by international law and manifests as a natural outcome of well-established historical legal facts. Share your time, talent, and treasure. Become part of Kailasa.
And as we continue this sacred celebration of Maha Paramashivaratri, we now enter a segment dedicated to honoring exceptional individuals whose lives and service embody enlightened values. The Kailasa Om Award is the highest recognition bestowed by Kailasa. It honors distinguished leaders, visionaries, healers, humanitarians, artists, and change makers whose contributions actively promote peace, harmony, coexistence, and conscious living, representing diverse cultures, nations, and traditions. The awardees are united by a shared commitment to creating a world rooted in compassion, responsibility, and higher awareness. And each recipient reflects the core principles upheld by Kailasa, which are nonviolence, inclusivity, dignity for all beings, gender equality, and the fundamental right to a spiritually enriched life. And as part of this honor, Kailasa Om Awards recipients are also invited to become members of the Lok Sabha of Kailasa, which is Kailasa's Hindu parliament, the think tank, and they are also welcomed into the United Ancient Indigenous Enlightened Nations. The Lok Sabha of Kailasa serves as the intellectual and the strategic pillar of the Hindu parliament, comprising visionaries, visionary leaders and scholars dedicated to the revival, the protection, evolution of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and it provides policy insights, philosophical discourse, and strategic guidance for Hindus worldwide. The United Ancient Indigenous Enlightened Nations is an intergovernmental organization representing over 160 indigenous nations and communities globally, committed to uplifting the indigenous voices, preserving ancestral wisdom, and advancing sustainable development through enlightened leadership. So let us now watch a short video on the UAN to learn more.
Established since 2002 in the United States of America, the United Ancient Nations is an intergovernmental organization, currently made up of 160+ members and indigenous nations. The UAN and its work are guided by the purposes and principles contained in its founding charter. The UAN is a manifestation of the profound connection amongst indigenous peoples across the world, including African, Andean, American, European, Caribbean, Oceanic, and Asian regions, rooted in shared wisdom, sustainable practices, and deep reverence for the earth. The United Ancient Nations serves as an international cultural and diplomatic organization focused on uniting indigenous cultures globally. Our governance structure is council-based without territorial claims, led by a collective leadership through our General Secretariat. As a non-state entity with UN-style advocacy, we focus on several key areas: cultural and digital heritage preservation, indigenous diplomacy, revival of indigenous knowledge systems to solve humanity's problems, global peace, environmental preservation, health and wellness, sustained economic development, indigenous and cultural tourism. While the UAN represents numerous indigenous cultures, the United States of Kailasa serves as the first indigenous nation specifically for Hindus. Kailasa's mission is focused on the revival of the ancient enlightened Sanatana Hindu civilization, with a formal governance structure including a head of state, ministers, and ambassadors. Under the leadership of SPH, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, Kailasa has achieved recognition as a sovereign subject of international law, possessing distinctive attributes of juridical statehood. The United States of Kailasa is the main sponsor of the proposed UAN headquarters. This initiative would bring forth an estimated $100 million in revenue for the host country through summits, conferences, tourism, and development projects. The proposed UAN headquarters would represent the world's indigenous nations and peoples through its architectural design. It would blend the best of all worlds, featuring top modern architecture, the highest green building standards, and ancient Vastu architectural principles. This headquarters would serve as a central hub for indigenous diplomacy, cultural preservation, and collaborative efforts towards sustainable development and global peace. Through this initiative, we aim to create a dignified platform for indigenous leadership rooted in ancestral wisdom, cultural legitimacy, and collaborative innovation, enhancing global dialogue and regional stability. The establishment of the UAN headquarters would position a host country at the forefront of a global movement promoting indigenous wisdom while creating significant economic opportunities for the nation and its people.
And now, with deep reverence and gratitude to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we now proceed to the most anticipated segment of today's celebration, the presentation of the Kailasa Om Awards. And today we are honored to be presenting the Kailasa Nithyananda Global Peace Award, which is conferred upon individuals who has significantly contributed towards peacekeeping. And we are very honored to be presenting the Kailasa Nithyananda Peace Award to Her Excellency Miss Suzanne F.C. Romer from Curaçao, the Kingdom of Netherlands. And Her Excellency Suzanne Romer has served her country with distinction across multiple branches of public office, including as Prime Minister, Minister of Justice, Minister of Economic Affairs, Minister of Transport, Traffic and Urban Planning, Minister of Health, Environment and Nature, and as a Member of Parliament. She has also held the position of Constitutional Judge, playing an integral role in upholding democratic and legal standards. In the private sector, Her Excellency has worked as a university lecturer, a lawyer, and a board member for several companies, bringing her expertise to both academic and corporate spheres. Her Excellency is deeply committed to voluntary service, supporting foundations dedicated to cultural and historical preservations. And we are very honored today to be welcoming and to confer the Kailasa Nithyananda Global Peace Award upon Her Excellency Suzanne Romer. And welcome, Your Excellency, and we would like to invite you to share a few words.
Swamiji, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. It is a great honor for me to very great honor. And I want to thank Swamiji for it. And I want to thank him also for all the work he has done to preserve the culture and also to increase humankind. Just a few short words, but thank you very much for all you have done for humankind and all that you have done for the Hindu conservation of the culture throughout the nations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And again, it's a great honor and pleasure to be conferring the Kailasa Om Awards upon you. And now we would like to confer the Kailasa Om Awards, the Kailasa Nithyananda Global Peace Award upon Professor Carl Camelia. And Professor Carl Camelia is the principal founder and the academic vice president Academic Affairs of the University of Maharishi for Latin America and the Caribbean. He is also the founder and the CEO of the Integral University of the Caribbean and Latin America, and he has extensive experience in the academic world, including research, teaching, and administration. Internationally, Professor Camelia has developed several international programs that have successfully achieved European accreditation. He has also developed and implemented several collaboration agreements with universities in the United States, the Netherlands, India, Spain, and several countries of Latin America and the Caribbean. Professor Carl Camelia holds 2 postgraduate degrees from the Netherlands, one in business sciences and another in law. However, he also considers his graduation in 1978 as a teacher of the Transcendental Meditation Program, very important, after which he was appointed in 1980 by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi as the National Director for Curacao. And as a certified Transcendental Meditation teacher, Professor Carl Camelia has also instructed more than 1,000 people in the Transcendental Meditation technique. In the field of research, Professor Camelia is the author and co-author of publications in international journals in the United States, the United Kingdom, India, the Netherlands, and Trinidad and Tobago. In the field of Maharishi consciousness-based rehabilitation, he has published a major research conducted in the Curacao prison with positive results on the rehabilitation of inmates through practice of transcendental meditation. And in the field of Ayurveda, he has founded in 1987 a Maharishi Panchakarma clinic in Curacao. And he has also published in the Journal of Integrative Medicine of India a unique model for an integrative medicine curriculum for a medical doctor degree that integrates Western allopathic and Eastern Ayurveda medicine. This academic experience has led Professor Carl Camelia to be a keynote speaker in several countries such as the USA, India, the Netherlands, Spain, Brazil, Paraguay, Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, Mexico, Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago, and Cuba. And we are very pleased, Professor Carl Camelia, to be conferring the Kailasa Om Awards upon you. And we would like to invite you to please share a few words.
Yes. Do you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you, Professor.
Okay, very good. So His Honorable Swamiji and also all dignitaries of the Kailasa organization and all other devotees or members that are watching us, I would like to grant my respect to Swamiji and also my gratitude for having granted this award to me and my wife on the other hand. As my bio has already reflected, a great deal of my life I have dedicated to this Indian wisdom that is contained in the Hinduism, we could say, religion, but actually, on the other hand, in the literature that is called the Vedic literature, the literature of the Vedas, of the Indian culture and Indian tradition. And why have I dedicated so much of my time of life to this knowledge and this application is because it is more than just a religion that will teach people how to live, what to do, what not to do. No, it has actually deep knowledge that one can experience this development of higher states of consciousness by simple practices that are found in these different angles of this Vedic knowledge. So, in that sense, for me, I acknowledge the work that Swamiji has been doing and the Kailasa organization has as its objectives because we really think that this awakening of higher consciousness that we can develop and that we can achieve through this Vedic knowledge is a is the we could say the gift of India to the whole world. It is not only something that it pertains to Hindu religion or to Indian culture. No, it is a knowledge of all times of humanity. And in that sense, I support completely what Swamiji is offering through the organization of Kailasa. So, my, my respect and my gratitude for offering me, granting me and my wife this award. And I wish the organization Kailasa, headed by Swamiji, all success in all your efforts to raise the level of consciousness of humankind that we can reach the Vedic civilization, how the literature in the Vedic text is containing, is promising us. We could say we should reach global Ram Raj. So thank you very much. And that is all.
Yes. And I was saying, Professor Camelia, thank you so much for your kind words and for your support to Kailasa. And again, it's a great pleasure and honor to be conferring the Kailasa Om awards upon you. And as you've said, the sciences, the ancient sciences of Sanatan Hindu Dharma is for everybody to enjoy. And that is why Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has said that it is Kailasa's responsibility as the only Hindu nation, as the revival of the ancient enlightened Sanatan Hindu civilization. It is Kailasa's responsibility to revive and share the ancient sciences of Hinduism with the entire world. And as Swamiji has said, the Vedas, the Agamas has all the solutions to the problems that the world is facing today. And therefore, as Kailasa, as the only Hindu nation, it is our responsibility to be reviving and sharing all of these solutions to the entire world. So we very much appreciate your support, Professor Carl Camelia. And again, it's a great pleasure to be conferring the Kailasa Om Awards upon you. And thank you so much for all the work that you are doing to spread the Sanatan Hindu Dharma, the teachings of Sanatan Hindu Dharma to the entire world. And again, thank you so much for your presence here. And And now, with our hearts filled with devotion, spirits prepared to receive, let us ready ourselves to welcome the divine presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So now, let us still our minds, open our hearts, and align ourselves in deep gratitude and reverence as we receive the divine presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Very shortly, Swamiji will be coming, so stay tuned to receive his darshan and the satsang, the spiritual discourse on this most auspicious night of Maha Paramashivaratri. Thank you and Nithyanandam.